it wasn't going to happen, Sir Savile. It wasn't going to happen. That's why I'm doing a live one, because I most certainly have not had the time to do it normally, edit it, process it and upload it. So I apologise, but let's hope that this is as interesting being a live one. But let's hope that you are all pleasantly surprised. God, I can't talk properly. That you are all pleasantly surprised that I am in fact doing a video for today's PAP reports. The weather is horrendous. It is very cold, very windy, and please excuse, this is one of the problems we have with a live video. You can probably hear it. So you can probably hear the dog snoring in the background. I do apologise. That is one of the problems with doing a live. But again, I'm sorry about earlier. I put that out. I wasn't sure if I was going to have any electricity this evening. So in order to be able, to do this at all. So I do have Lecky. I am back, and there we go. So we're going to crack on first of all with our report. So obviously, ladies, gentlemen, boys, girls, in is out, is in between us. Today is Tuesday, the 11th of February, and you probably guessed that we're going to start with an update on a previous video, which was regarding the 16-year-old who was smashed around the head by a PC 3139 dickhead from Ecclesfield Police of South Yorkshire. I said it the other day, but it has been confirmed in reports that South Yorkshire Police has referred itself to the IOPC. Chief Constable of South Yorkshire Police said that they understand about the public concerns about the video circulating about the 16-year-old suffering injuries to the head. They've referred the matter to the Independent Office of Police Conduct, and they're waiting for a decision on how to progress. They've also said that as part of their investigation into the wider disorder following the football match, a full review of all available footage will be undertaken. Again, they're warning people, to take that short clip with a pinch of salt. In other words, don't listen to what your eyes tell you, listen to what we tell you. They're not going to give any further comment at the moment. But unlike South Yorkshire Police, I will continue to make comments, including the fact that PC 3139 William Sampson of Ecclesfield Police of South Yorkshire Police has been confirmed to be in work today, according to my source. However, it was not apparent if he was actually out on patrol. And I think I speak for us all when I say that William Sampson from South Yorkshire Police should, at the very least, be suspended from work. And the police force should, in my view, be telling the public that whether this man is working or not. Now, we hear a lot about police forces, such as West Yorkshire and South Yorkshire, and occasionally some reports are published giving information of collection of offences. Today, I have a Manchester Police collection of offences that have happened in the last 9 months by police and police staff. Some of these I have mentioned in previous videos, some of these I haven't. And please excuse me, because this is the first time I've had to do something like this live. Normally I'm cutting all bits out and all sorts in edit. So I am kind of reading off an auto cue. So please bear with me, as this is my first live PAP reports. So, Greater Manchester Police, 26-year-old Dominic Dunn was jailed for 7 years after being convicted at Preston Crown Court by a jury for possession of indecent images, sexual assault and voyeurism, after having sex with a woman without her knowing she was being filmed, and recorded himself sexually abusing her as she was sleeping. Nice. Next, we have a veteran officer, PC Mark Saville, was sacked after allegedly sending a colleague a message asking her to stop sending him immigrants for student officers. He was said to have a previously unblemished 27-year record, but was sacked without notice. Thank you, Greater Manchester Police, for actually taking action against a police officer who does something wrong. A disciplinary panel concluded that Saville did not set out to deliberately outrage or offend, but his actions displayed were a troubling lack of awareness. Please forgive me if I'm not responding to any of your comments at the moment, guys. I just want to get this out of the way first of all. As I say, this is my first live PAP reports. I really didn't want to leave you without a PAP report today, so please forgive me. In October, again, Greater Manchester Police, a special case hearing, it was found that an unnamed former constable would have been dismissed if he was still employed by the force after being convicted of theft of GMP property and offences of making indecent images of children. A similar outcome was decided for a former special constable, another who shall not be named, who was convicted of intentionally encouraging or assisting the commission of an either way offence relating to their civilian job. Another unnamed special constable officer or special constable pleaded guilty to failing to provide a breath test when stopped after being caught drink driving. They would have been sacked if they weren't advised to leave the force first. In November, before I started PAP Reports, a misconduct hearing heard of another unnamed member of police staff misusing Greater Manchester Police systems to access personal data for not policing purposes. A West Yorkshire Police civilian worker was dismissed after a misconduct hearing for testing positive to cocaine and cannabis whilst attending work under the influence of drugs. In fact, I might get told off for saying it, but it wouldn't surprise me if most of them are on something anyway, the way they behave. An unnamed constable who used language that was offensive and homophobic received the final written warning from GMP in December, which was followed in the same month by another Mr. Nobody who was subject to a gross misconduct hearing for accessing and disclosing confidential Greater Manchester Police data, again without policing purposes. Both of those two left before they could be fired. Another GMP, civilian member of staff, faced the same result after being convicted of theft. A sergeant received the final written warning at a misconduct hearing for using inappropriate, racially offensive and derogatory language when referring to members of the public. This was in July last year. In the same month, another constable, unnamed, was dismissed without notice after he accepted a hot drink from a female member of the public and then tried to inappropriately kiss her. Also in July last year, a hearing concluded that another unnamed constable who pleaded guilty to driving whilst pissed would have been dismissed if he was still serving. In May of the same year, again, another anonymous police employee pleaded guilty to possession and distribution of indecent images of children. He was dismissed in May. In June, a PCSO was sacked after they accessed and disclosed confidential data for non-policing purposes and was actively involved in organised crime groups, both on and off duty. Again in June, police staff member was sacked after they acted in an abusive and discriminatory way towards their colleagues and showed their police identification card whilst intoxicated. Now, I didn't know that was something they could be done for. So if you get somebody pull out their police badge, guys, and they're pissed, it seems that that's an offence, and I didn't know that. Although I suppose it's common sense, I suppose. Finally, a police inspector was given a final written warning after being abusive to stewards at an England international football match in Seville, Spain. Again, this is within the last 9 months. All of those are Greater Manchester Police staff or constables that have been reprimanded in the last 9 months. In fact, I'm sure there's much more than that that's actually been hidden from the public, and I've absolutely no doubt there'll be many more in the future. Now we have one that I've had a couple of messages today. Forgive me for not remembering your names, but I've had a couple of links to a story today. So thank you if you sent me this link. But a 48-year-old PC Paul Brown has had a very lucky escape after being cleared yesterday of 16 driving offences. 16. PC Brown was a police driving instructor when he was clocked doing 122 miles an hour or 195 kilometres an hour on his way to a meeting. Not only did he get caught speeding, but he jumped lights, used the car's police sirens and lights intermittently and illegally, I might add, during a 17-mile trip to discuss his son's education at college. So he'd done a ton 20 on his way to a meeting with the college over his son. And he was cleared of all charges. PC Brown managed to get away with 16 offences by claiming he was practising his driving skills to ensure they were up to scratch. So there you have it, guys. If the police have to practice their driving skills, then we all need to practice our driving skills. And that means we can rag around the streets and we, you know, I'm sure we can pull this one out of the book when they pull us over and say, you were doing a ton 20, why are you doing it? You can simply turn around and say, well, you know, I passed my test 20 years ago and I just thought I better brush up on my driving skills. There you have it. The offences included 11 for speeding, so it's 11 offences for speeding, 4 for jumping red lights, and 1 offence of driving on the wrong side of the road. Anne Walker, chairman of the bench at Suffolk Magistrates Court, is a stupid twat, said there was no agreed policy or rules on how police instructors should do their training and record it. We cannot be sure that Mr. Brown did not undertake these 2 journeys while carrying out his own continued professional development, she said. Now, Anne, there may not be a policy, you dumb bint, but there is common sense, and there's the Road Traffic Act. Besides the fact that training of this nature would be done while on duty, and I imagine that there are places the police can go to practice driving, such as training centres. How about, you know, being sure that he certainly wasn't carrying out training while on the way to a meeting with the college? Anne Walker of Suffolk Magistrates Court, you, madam, are fucking stupid. Especially as he hit 122 miles an hour and 101 mile an hour through a 30 mile an hour zone. 101 through a 30 mile an hour zone. Harry O'Sullivan, who was prosecuting, said that PC Brown, a Norfolk police driving instructor since 2016 and an officer for 18 years, had not been authorised to use the car for his training while driving alone to and from the college. What's in dispute is that he, as a serving police officer, had been acting under legal exemption to road traffic laws such as speeding and jumping red lights. PC Brown was late for a meeting and drove the way he did, not out of concern to keep his driving up to scratch and perform a competence driving test, if you like, but because he was late to his meeting with the college. The manner of driving is consistent with a police officer abusing a vehicle and abusing his position to force his way through rush hour traffic to get somewhere in time. A senior driving instructor at the same force at the time, and who now works for Scotland Yard, denied that he had told him that he could carry out a CPD test at the time. The senior instructor went on to say that it did surprise me and I was a bit disappointed because the vehicle had been given on an ad hoc basis for a private matter and a private journey. I was not expecting it to have been driven this way. We have an unwritten rule that for small journeys like this, we are able to use driving school vehicles, police driving school vehicles. Journeys to private matters are not normally taken for CPD. I don't have any issues with the purpose of the visit. It was the way the vehicle was being used on the journey. So there you go, Anne, from the Magistrates Court who listened to this case. You've got a statement there from a senior driving instructor at the police force telling you that he didn't give the vehicle to this PC arse to do a CPD test. Excuse me. So isn't that enough proof that he wasn't doing that test and was in fact on the way to a meeting? Therefore, he shouldn't have been driving in that way. And this is another problem. There's another problem with doing a live. Now my voice has gone funny. Back to Manchester Police now. And information that a female constable has been suspended and is under investigation for her alleged links to organised crime. Greater Manchester Police released a statement to say that a 27-year-old woman has been arrested on suspicion of concealing criminal property, criminal exploitation of a vulnerable adult, conspiracy to supply a Class B drug, knowing, suspecting and participating in the activities of an organised crime group, and misconduct in a public office. Wow. The woman, who was serving police officer at the time of her arrest, has been bailed pending further inquiries. She has been suspended pending an investigation. Greater Manchester Police referred the matter to the Independent Office of Police Conduct, who returned it for local investigation. Right, so GMP sent the file to IOPC because of the amount of corruption this police constable was clearly involved in. IOPC returned it for a local resolution. And we know what local resolution normally means. It normally means, okay, we're going to run a class and we're going to tell you what you can and can't do again, and then you can go back out on your beat and do your thing again. Do you know what I mean? Smack on the wrist, nobody really gives a shit. So IOPC, you're a fuck knuckle. So the matter is now being dealt with by Greater Manchester Police's professional standards, and they've refused to comment any further. What else do we have? That's it. A short one. Well, I say a short one, 17 minutes long. Had I edited this as I normally would, then we'd probably be talking about a 7 or 8 minute video. But yeah, there we go. I will, excuse me while I just remove that from there. And there we go. Hello Lee, how you doing, my friend? I apologise for the way this video has been put together tonight. Again, I didn't want to leave you without a PAP Reports, and I was gutted when I thought I wasn't going to have any lecky or time to be able to come on and deliver this to you. But thankfully, lecky's back on, got the generator started. And yeah, and here we are. So I thought, rather than leave you out of the loop with today's PAP Reports, I'll do a short one and we'll do it on a live. So there we have it, guys. And just for the sake of it, the first of many, yeah, hopefully. I need to practice doing these lives. You know, I'm quite good at cutting out the ums and ers and the mistakes and everything else, but I need to get used to doing this. It would be nice to do a live every night, every weekday, and do a PAP Reports live. I would like to do that. That would be quite good. Yeah, I got gas. I'm gonna get a takeaway tonight though. I'm gonna get Chinese tonight. So there we have it. So now you see what we can do. We can thanks FPV Exmouth. I don't want anything like that for my throat, thanks. So yeah, if I can hopefully get to that point where I can do a live, then great. I would I'll enjoy doing that. There we go. So any questions about tonight? I mean, you know, if I'm going to start doing a live, then or rather than any questions, let's have it this way: any criticism about doing a live, apart from the dog snoring, yeah. True reporter, true reporter. At the moment, I've said all I can say about Spitshine because that's all I know at the moment, and I would rather not get into and this is for everybody else as well, because I know some of you have probably asked that question earlier in the comments. With regards to Spitshine 69, I have given you all the information that I know. It would be wrong of me to try and answer questions because I'd be giving you opinions rather than facts. So for that reason, I'm not going to talk about, discuss that Spitshine situation because I'm not about giving you bullshit and I'm not about making things up. So thank you. If you're not subscribed to this channel already, don't forget to hit that which side is it? That's this side. Hit that subscribe button over there. Hit the like button as well. It's just next to the subscribe button for those of you who aren't sure. And there we go. Mark, I apologise. Today has been a bit of a nightmare, as I say, with the lecky going off. My head's been battered trying to think how, am I going to have lecky tonight? Am I going to get this done? So I apologise. I've literally got the lecky on, set myself up, went through some reports very quickly, chucked them together. Normally I'd have time at the end of writing the script for the report, I'd have time to read it a few times first, and then I'd remember to put names in and things like that. So I apologise anybody that I've not called your name out. So there. Thank you, Tom Lamb. I appreciate that. And there we go. Yeah, voicemail slot, yeah. It's also what was I going to say? It's also difficult doing this live for the first time as well because I haven't got a professional setup by any means or any stretch of the imagination. I've got some battery operated lights. I'm using a mobile phone camera, which is currently wedged on top of a cardboard box. I promise you, I'll take a picture of my setup afterwards and post it. But I've got my phone wedged on top of a cardboard box and I've got my laptop in front of me. And I've had to make a little hole in the cardboard box in order to wedge my other phone, which has got a click lock thing in. So I've made a hole so I can wedge that in. And on there, I've got the teleprompter, if you like. And I've got to wedge that underneath the camera that I'm filming on. So it's quite difficult to set up at the moment, but hopefully as time goes on, things will get better and I'll be able to provide you with some much better live reports. Are we allowed to plug on this channel? Who said that? Marty Blackborough. It depends whose channel you want to plug. As long as it's not a butt plug. We don't do butt plugs on this channel, Marty. Hello, Mr. Trump. It's Daisy that's snoring. Alice is very quiet when she's asleep, but Daisy has... In fact, she was watching me earlier. She was awake, watching me, and her eyes were following me around the room, and she was snoring. And I was like, what's going on? Hello, Glasgow. Scoosh McDuff. Sense of humour, I'm not so sure. Well, I wouldn't, you know, I might have a sense. I've definitely got a sense of humour, but whether or not I'm funny is a whole nother debate. Funny looking, but other than that, I'm not so sure. Lee, it was right. Basically, this video was really a kind of thrown together at the last minute. It was a PAP Reports. Obviously, I had yeah. I had a little bit of issues with the Lecky earlier. They were off for some time, and I didn't think I was well. I certainly wouldn't have had time for AB. It was a report, so I'm just explaining now. Because the Lecky went off earlier, and I certainly wouldn't have had time to record, edit, render and then upload. I wouldn't have been able to get that done. It wouldn't have been done till 11 o'clock tonight or whatever. Do you know what I mean? And so rather than that, I decided I'd jump on here. I'd do a quick live PAP Reports, and you know, while we're here, we might as well have a chat as well. So, but the beginning part of this video is the PAP Reports. It was quite a short one. But again, I haven't had a lot of time today to be able to prepare anything properly, so I apologise. Lecky, Electric, I've been up here 12 years. They class me as an honorary Scouser. Not so sure whether that's a good thing or not, but I think it stops me getting stabbed and shot, then I don't mind. Why am I single and what's wrong with me? Too big. Girls can't handle it. Oh, there we go. Yeah, Dean Minster, sorry, it's gone past so quickly, has just asked a question, and that is, who here, it's 131 people on at the moment, who here has used that link in yesterday's video, email number 10, Downing Street? Is there anybody that has managed to do it? Thank you, John Boy, excellent. Andrew, no, I never met Spitshine. I have, as I said earlier, and again, I don't want to get into ins and outs of it all in this video, but as I said in my video this morning, I have spoken to him on the phone, I have spoken to him through WhatsApp, and through YouTube, and that's as far as my association with him has gone. I do read messages on WhatsApp. Sometimes it takes me a while to get to them. I do get a lot, but I do always read messages on WhatsApp. I can't always respond, hence the disclaimer in the description that I won't respond. So sometimes I just will. But in case I can't, everybody knows that disclaimer that I might not respond anyway. President Trump, that's very kind of you. Much appreciated. Action Mandy, go to PAP's vid on the... Oh, right, got you. I wonder what you were saying there. So, and I know this was supposed to be a bit of a professional video. Me, professional, you're on a laugh. But I'm going to have a cigarette. I'll cut this out in the edit. Oh shit, I'm not edit. I forgot it's live. We'll be doing this on Channel 5 News. I know there's a lot of people sending messages that are not showing up. Again, messages are flying through, and while I'm looking at the screen talking, it's difficult to catch them all, so I apologise. I am going to check out that. I saw his first part. I saw Audit in Britain's first part of the video yesterday, and I will check his second part out today. Pinaki Media UK. Okay, if anybody's on Facebook, Marty Blagborough as Pinaki Media UK. Registered himself a company, now a CEO of a company is Marty Blagborough. So if you're on Facebook, feel free to find, what was it again? Pinaki Media UK, and give him a thumbs up. Yeah, I know, but still, as much as Facebook is a pain in the arse and shit, sometimes it's, you know, it's a necessary evil. Marty lad. Oh, sorry, Pinak, not Pinaki. Pinak, not Pinaki. Janaea, that's how I pronounce her name. Janaea's channel. Yeah, I have seen her videos before. She's been fighting for a long time with GMP, and I hope she gets some justice, and I hope she manages to get through what she's going through. But yes, I do watch. I don't watch all of them, but I do watch some of her videos. Lee, I'll send you a link when I've finished. If you remind me, send me a WhatsApp message, and just remind me, and I'll send you a link. Yeah, WhatsApp. Not Whopper, Wapper. That's very true, Marty. That is very true. How come I haven't done my hair for you today? Honestly, I'll tell you what, that's what my hair looks like today. It's an absolute mess. Look, actually, the badge behind me makes it look like my hair's sticking out. But that's why I'm wearing a hat today. Chris, I am cutting down. I've actually cut down a huge amount, actually. I'm really impressed with myself to cut down how much I have, considering how long I've been smoking and how much I smoke, or how much I've smoked. News Now Scotland, aye. Sheepdog got it bad. I think I look more like a run over badger at the moment. Run over by a steam engine, no less. Action Man Andy, yeah. I know it's bad. My breathing's terrible as it is, and as I say, I am cutting down. I do have a vape as well. Eventually, I'll be off of that too. Some point this year. While we're at it, I mean, there's 149 people on here. I just want to ask you a question. I was going to put this in the community section of the channel. With regards to that incident over the weekend with the young boy, and we all know what we're talking about, I hope. I was thinking, a gentleman got arrested for assault emergency worker. I believe that was the guy who kicked the police person off of the boy. who then got hit by the police, female. I don't care if this is being watched by anybody in the police. You can all suck my dick, to be quite fair. I'm sorry, that was very unprofessional, but there you go. If that guy who got arrested and he's under investigation at the moment, if he gets charged, I will put the word out to everybody on this channel. I will put the word out to the fans of the football club that that boy supports, and I will do my best to get as many people as possible to go to South Yorkshire Police headquarters for a peaceful protest, to let them know that it's not acceptable. And if PC William Sampson is not suspended or fired, then I believe it was his father, yeah, I believe it was, then I will do the same thing. And I will put the word out to everybody on here. I will put the word out to everybody that I can in the footballing community that that boy supports, and I will get as many people as I can to knock on South Yorkshire Police's door and let them know that it is not acceptable. Dingo, you can help still. You might not be able to turn up, but you can help get the word out, and that's help enough. No, seriously, John Boy, when I say peaceful, I'm not saying that to be sarcastic. I don't know if you saw the video when myself, Current Climate, but Long Rod and some others went to Leeds to help Marty's friend, although that kind of turned around and bit us in the arse a little bit, but we won't get into that. That's the kind of thing that I'm talking about. I'm not talking about going and causing problems in the sense where people start getting arrested. That's not what it's about. It's about contacting the media and making enough noise that everybody gets to hear about it and everybody knows about it. That's the point I'm talking about. Exactly, right to protest. And again, we have the right to protest, providing we, you know, what I do, I always do my research to make sure that I'm not committing or about to commit a crime. Okay, especially doing what I do here now with this channel, etc. The last thing I want to do is do something that I can get nabbed on, because that will give them what they want. So I am very careful with what I do, and I would always recommend you guys be exactly the same. Be very careful. If there's something you're going to go and do, you make sure you do your research first, and you make sure, although there are ways for the police to get around things, providing everything's video cameraed, okay, providing everything's video cameraed, and you do not actually break the law, then it's going to be very difficult for them to stitch you up. And if they do, you've got it all on camera. Mainstream media will run it, I think, if enough people turned up. Okay, I think if enough people turned up, mainstream media would pick up on it. I think they'd have to, but there has to be enough people that are willing to stand up for other people's rights. It's not just about our rights. This is the thing. And for me, it's always, I think about how other people are being treated. And that's part of the reason why I do this channel, is because other people have their rights infringed. And I believe that it's all of our duty to not just make sure our own rights aren't infringed on, that other people's rights aren't infringed on as well. Why is no one talking about spit shine? Well, the reason is because at the moment we've already given the information that we know. If we get into conversations about that, then it's going to be speculation, it's going to be opinion. And I would rather not give opinions other than what I've already said in that video I put out this morning. So yeah, so please wait around. I'm sure there'll be more news coming out regards that, but for me, for now, I've said what I need to say. Be smart and outsmart them. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, Dingo, 100%. Yes, News Now Scotland, yeah. Said the same earlier to me, so waiting for that. Excuse me. Yes, Lee, exactly. Don't make shit up. Tell the truth, and obviously that's what I try. That's what I try to do. If I do give an opinion, I always let you know that it's my opinion. Who's that? The Sheriffess. Thank you for joining us. Take care. Have a nice evening. Oh, got pain in my side. Do you and Crime Bodge get much grief from your local fuzz? I think Crime Bodge does. To be honest, I I don't go out very often. To be fair, interacting with people on a personal basis, on a face-to-face basis, is actually quite difficult for me, believe it or not. I'm going to start stuttering now because I'm thinking about it. I have severe anxiety issues, and face-to-face meetings with people are difficult. When I do have a good day, or if I force myself to go out, I mean, I can go to a shop like the local shop, you know, something like that. That's not a problem. If I have to go to a supermarket, for example, or if I have to go and interact with somebody, it can be, I can do it, and then afterwards I have an anxiety attack, and it's not very nice. So yeah, I try and keep myself away as much as possible from situations where I have to interact with many people. And I know that seems silly considering I got stopped outside the police station. If you remember that night, I wasn't expecting that to happen. I didn't go there with the intention of having that interaction. One of the reasons that I was able to hold it together a bit is because I had my folder with me, and that gave me something to concentrate on. Do you know what I mean? Focus on the folder, focus on the stuff in the folder rather than all the people around me. But yeah, I try and keep myself away from those situations as much as possible. But if I have to, if I genuinely have to put myself in a situation, then I will do. This I can do. Do you know what I mean? This I can do. You know that I can sit on a live for hours just chatting bollocks to you all, and that's fine. And I think it's because well, I know what it is. It's because I'm here and I know that I can turn it off. I'm in control and I can turn off any time I want to, and that's why I can do this. But if you're out and about and you have to interact with people, you can't just switch it off. You can't just turn off and say I'm sorry. No. No worries, Dingo. Yeah, the number is up top there somewhere. I think it's in the description as well. If you need, anybody needs to WhatsApp me. Again, I can't always promise that I can respond to every message. I do get a lot, and most of the messages are just people wanting to talk to me, which is nice. I appreciate it. It is nice, but that ideally the WhatsApp number was for people to send videos and things like that if they wanted me to share. But I get so many messages, and it's really difficult to try and keep on top of responding to them all. So if anybody has sent me messages and I haven't responded, or there is a delay in responding, please forgive me for that. But literally most of my day is taken up making the videos and researching for the next day's video. I seem to be confident. Amanda, this is because I'm in control in this situation. You see, I can turn it off. If I have an anxiety attack while I'm recording a video normally, I can stop it. I can cut that out. I can go and have a cigarette and a coffee and go and have a cry in a corner, and then I can sort myself out and come back and continue it. But that's why I think I can cut all of those things out, and I do stutter sometimes, and I do and ah quite a lot, as you've probably noticed. But yeah, so but yeah, the edited videos, obviously I'll cut all of that stuff out. Yeah, Anthony M, I've seen part 1. I haven't seen part 2 yet because everyone keeps talking to me. Dear. Do you know what? I tell you what, I don't even know what was wrong with the Lecky earlier. The guy that came round had such a broad Scouse accent. I've not heard a Scouse accent like that for a long time. And I couldn't make head nor tail of anything he said. I just nodded my head, went, yeah, thanks, yeah, brilliant. Yeah, brilliant, thank you, yeah, see you later. A fish tank in the background. I need something. I might get a screensaver on there. But normally when I'm videoing from this angle, I'm normally recording the sound as well, because my mic here goes into that computer to edit. So you get the better sound. Obviously this isn't the greatest of audio, but in the other videos is normally a bit better. Noel Archer from Norway, glad to have you on. Thank you for joining us. So what's that about, tummy rumbling? Is that because I can't see the dog? It seems like your tummy is rumbling. It probably is. I've not eaten yet today, so I'm gonna order myself a nice Chinese. Yes. Shumai, prawn toast, pancake rolls, probably crispy chili beef, and some salt and pepper chips. Lovely. What I am going to be doing for Lucifer there, you said about the flag. Sorry, what do you call 100 cops drowned? A good start. For those of you speaking about the flags here, what I am going to do is get a website set up at some point, hopefully in the next few months, and on that website I will have some things available to buy that won't be available from the current stores in the description below, flag being one of them. So yeah, so you will be able to buy some other stuff at some point. That depends, Tom, on if I can get a deal with the person who makes them. At the moment, yeah, that one is quite big. That's what's that? That's I think that's 5 foot by 3 foot. Yeah, that's a 5 foot by 3 foot flag, and that I think was about 40 quid, if I remember rightly. So yeah, there will be smaller ones. Rizzler or zigzag. Yeah, I will do, Noel. I will do. I'm going to watch it while I am while I'm eating my dinner tonight. Email address is policeabusingpowers@gmail.com. So channel name @gmail.com. That would. Car flags everywhere. That would be awesome. I suppose. I mean, the actual car flags. I'll look into that, because that might be better for everybody. It's definitely going to be cheaper for people as well. So I might see if we can get some car flags made up. Why is this world in a mess? Do you want my honest opinion? I do watch Civil Disobedience, yeah. Colin Robertson, I do have a T-shirt with section. Oh, what's it called? Bear with me. I can't see any messages, by the way, if you're sending comments, so please just bear with me a second. Oh, goodness me, where are you? Right, I've got section 26. Thank you, Brian. Yeah, section 26 of the Criminal Justice and Courts Act, which reminds the police that they are culpable should they knowingly or if they do something that they should know for a fact, or whether they reasonably should know is wrong. So I've got that on as a design, and I've also got, what else have I got? Oh no, that's the only one I've got with legislation on, but it does remind them. Quick, everyone say some horrible stuff. It's not very nice, is it? So yeah, well, somebody asked me a question a minute ago about why is this world such a messed up place. My honest opinion is because we've allowed it. You know, not just you, not just me. We have all allowed this world to get in the state that it's in. We have simply let it happen, and it's our fault. again, this is just my opinion, but although I will say that most of the changes have happened over such a long period, and they've been weaved into everything else that a lot of people may not have seen it happen. But now no worries, Marty, peace out, man. But now it's being made more aware, and more people are being made aware of the failings of, you know, the country, the government, and everybody else. Now people are being made more aware. We just need to stand up and fight back against it. And again, I'm not talking about violence. I mean, I'm not talking about violence, but I think throughout history, we know that that is an end product of what is happening. But there are ways to try and combat it without it getting to that point. But it's not just going to take us taking action. You know, these people, the police, for example, they need to take action as well. They need to start turning around and saying, hang on a minute, if that happened to me, that's wrong. So it must be wrong for it to happen to somebody else. And if we can start getting people to stand up and take responsibility, then changes, I think, will be slightly easier. Jeebus Christ, do yourself a favour and go and find something a little bit more on your mental level to join in, because this conversation is clearly far beyond your intellect. Bye-bye now. True reporter, yeah. In fact, he's right above you there. He's on top of you. Look. Yeah, Lee, no worries. Take it easy. Thanks for joining in. Send us a whapper and remind me, and I'll send you that link. But from Wales, welcome. Yeah, Janine, to be honest, he's been quiet for quite a while. I'd actually forgotten about him. Do you know what I mean? He's one of them people that you think about at the time and then forgotten about. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, literally every comment he ever makes is that one word, narcissist. In fact, I'm still trying to work out if he knows what it means. I think the spelling, I think that was a fluke that he spelt it right. But as for the rest of it, understanding what it means, I don't know. Oh, sorry, Lee, I thought you said you was off, mate. Ozzy, this is what I've been saying this in the last couple of videos, and that is that the police are us and we are the police. That is, if you go back in time, that is what the police was. But now, because when the rich people, years ago, when it was their turn to do their policing duties, they would pay poor people to do it for them. Do you know what I mean? Because they could earn more money, because while they were doing policing, which they didn't get paid for, while they were doing that, they couldn't run their businesses, therefore they were losing money. So it was actually better for them to pay a little bit of money to somebody poor to do their policing duties while they went and made money. Do you know what I mean? And that's what policing was. That's why common law says that we are all allowed to use, we all have to keep the peace. It's our duty to act against breach of the peace, and we have the common law right to arrest people. Do you know what I mean? And that can only ever be because we are all allowed, were and are allowed to do these policing activities, should we say. Problem that we've found is that the police have taken this to this level where they're allowed to have weapons to protect themselves and to protect others. But we're not allowed to have weapons to protect us and to protect others. Now, I hate the idea of using a weapon. I was talking to True Reporter last night about this. And it scares me thinking that I could hit somebody with a weapon and kill them. You know, I wouldn't mind killing somebody if they were trying to kill me. Well, I'd mind, but I could get over that. But I wouldn't want to defend myself against somebody and accidentally kill them. I couldn't live with that. So for me, weapons, I don't like the idea of. But what I do think is wrong is the fact that the police are allowed to have weapons to protect themselves when they're just doing a job that we're all supposed to do anyway. And as we see, many of the police actually turn out to be criminals themselves. Herbert Longrod, nice to see you. David, that may have been you then. Yeah, I had a few, I did say earlier, when I went through some of the reports earlier, I couldn't remember all the names because I kind of threw this together at the last minute. However, yeah, I did get your email. I just couldn't remember anybody's name while I was doing the report. So apologies, but thank you, much appreciated. What's that? Very true, but we are seeing school kids carrying knives. We are seeing school kids carrying knives, and clearly that needs to stop. You know, you have to be a reasonable person with some common sense to be able to have a weapon, if you like, because kids, they're fearless, and this is a problem. They're fearless. So kids are quite happy to go and get a knife and just stripe someone without thinking twice about it. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I don't think, I mean, I hate the idea that kids are carrying weapons is wrong. They're not experienced enough, they're immature, and that's wrong. But when you get to a certain age, I think that you need to be able to defend yourself the same as other people are defending themselves. Jeebus, do you know what you're doing? I don't know what I'm telling you. Right? All you're doing is helping the video get out to more people. You don't like my content. You don't know. I said, I don't know if you're talking to me there, but anyway, I did say hello a little while ago. But all you're doing is helping my voice get out to other people, and I don't know what it is you're actually what your aim is or what you're trying to achieve, but you're actually achieving nothing. And now you're spamming the channel. I don't mind you calling me a narcissist now and again, but copy paste is now actually being a spammer. So if anybody wants to go and report Jeebus Christ, you can find his comments in the comments section over there on the right hand side. Feel free, hover over his name, comes up 3 little dots, click that, go and report him. No problem with that at all, guys. Yeah, hashtag report Jeebus. Very low IQ. I think the fact he's spelt it right, as I say, is more of a fluke than anything else. No worries, Brian. Thanks, Brian Jones. Thanks for joining us. Yeah, Chemskis, yeah, or Chemskies. I agree. Don't turn it into a business. I'm not trying to turn it into a business, but I do want to be able to give better content. Do you know what I mean? Um, in order to do that, I was hoping to earn ad revenue. Uh, Therefore, and I do very small amount, but what I want to try and do is just to try and be able to build this up so I can get this out to people, and my videos are better and my edits are better, and the script for the PAP reports is better. And the way to do that without having without being able to earn much from ad revenue is like I was selling those PAP cards. I was making about 20p on every 10 sold. That all went back into more cards so I could sell them, and that's all I'm doing. I'm not trying to rip people off, and you know, I'm not like some of the American channels that just sit there and go, give me your money, give me your money, give me your money. Do you know what I mean? I do this because I enjoy doing this. If I wasn't doing this, I'd be sat over there on the sofa, miserable, and not really have much purpose in life at the moment. You know, I'm fighting for my kids still and all that, but other than that, I haven't really got much going on. So current climber is in the house. How you doing, my man? Um, I can block Jeebus, but the problem is, I believe he can still comment, but I just won't see it. Although I'm not 100% sure, I do know that if I block him, he can still see all of my videos. I do know that much. So he can still interact with the videos. It's just that he won't be able to interact with me directly. Do you know what? I should have done that before this. There are a couple of people. There are a couple of people that I've spoken to about being moderators, but I keep forgetting about it. Super chat not working. Yes, super chat's working as far as I know. Andrew is spit shine and no discussion. Not in this video. I don't want to get into that in this video. As I said earlier, I don't know if you saw it or whether you missed it. I've said what I need to say in that video. If I now start talking about it more, then it's going to be opinion and speculation, and that's not what I'm about. I don't want to give speculation and opinion on something like that. So it's a case of waiting now until we hear any more. Yeah, Ian, you can do it that way. You can do it that way. Again, there's a link in the description for that if you want to do that. Oh, I'm missing comments. Do you know what? He knows he's getting attention now. You know, if you want to block him, block him. The speaking to him is just gonna get him to do more. So I would suggest just ignore him and block him. How much time do I spend putting together a daily report? After I have uploaded the previous day's report, so for example today, this morning I would have got up and I would have gone through the script for today's video, for today's upload. I would have gone through that. Thank you, Jamie. Much appreciated. Thank you. I would have gone through that this morning, and then I would have spent. Well, it doesn't take me long to record the video. It only takes me normally about 10 to 20 minutes to record the video. And then it's a case of getting it on that one to edit. That will take me usually till about 5ish. Usually till about 5 o'clock-ish, sometimes 6, sometimes a little bit earlier, it depends. But that's normally the time. And then I upload the video and I schedule it for 7 o'clock that day. And then I sit down, have a cup of coffee, or take the dog. I sit down, have a cup of coffee, then I'll take the dogs for a spin. And then I'll come back and I'll sit down in front of the laptop and I will look for and collect from people who are sending me links as well. I'll put all them together for the following day. I'll get all of the links that I can, all of the stories, all of the reports, get their location, put them all on a text file. At 7 o'clock, the video goes live. I spend the next few hours responding to people, as I like to try and respond to as many people as possible. And then once all the comments have started to die down, I then go back to the links that I've collected throughout the afternoon and I start writing the script, if you like, for the following day. And that's what I kind of do 5 days a week at the moment. So yeah, keeps me busy. Right, let me try something. Right, I've just realised that there's an option to give somebody a timeout. So I've just given Jeebus a timeout. I don't know how it works. I don't know how long it keeps him quiet for, but I've done him a timeout, and now, yeah, he might come back soon. I didn't even know that button was there, so I apologise for having to put up with that for all that time. Edward Snowden, this is the first PAP report you've ever seen, and this is probably the worst one in respect of the editing value. I cut out all the stuff that I don't need to say in the other ones. This is the first time it's just me rambling. Oh, he's gone for now. If he pops back up and I don't see it, somebody let me know. To be honest though, I'm going to have to go soon anyway, because I am absolutely starving and I need to order some food. Literally haven't eaten since last night. But there we go. Such is life. No, she's rolled over now, so she's not snoring at the moment. Actually, I need to make a brew as well. So I'm going to give it another... Oh, I think she started snoring again. I'm going to get another 5 minutes, folks, and then I'm going to wrap this one up. This was only meant to be a PAP Reports. It's turned into something else. Although I will take this down. Not take it down, but I'm going to take down the recording and edit the PAP Reports and make it into a short PAP Reports, but keep this one on as well. Yo Normski. Oh, right, okay. Well, you're lucky, because I was about to jump on and put you on timeout as well there. All I just snorted. I should stream much more. As I get more used to doing the streams, the live streams, I will do. It's a confidence thing as well, you see. But yeah, I'd like to be able to... Take it easy, Dean, thank you. I'd like to be able to get to a position where I can do a PAP Reports every night, live. Do you know what I mean? We'll do the PAP Reports, I'll then shut down the live, and then I'll come back on and we can have a discussion in a new video, sort of like in a specifically for chatting about the live rather than on the live, if that makes sense. Peter Sutcliffe. I don't know if you're trying to be funny. If you are, that's great. It's not a problem. But if you do that 5 more times, you'll be timed out. So now you've been warned. Now you know if you're having a joke, then you know to stop. I've already said, look, that's why I'm wearing my hat today. That's why I won't take my hat off. See? Oh, hang on, what was that? That's I appreciate your reply, but it doesn't need covering up like so many other child abusers. You're either with him or against him. I look forward to a future debate. Andrew, it's not covering anything up, mate. I've already said this morning, I've said a piece this morning. Clearly, I'm not trying to cover anything up. If you're still talking about the Spitshine thing. Clearly, I'm not trying to cover anything up. It is about giving the facts. In a situation like this, it's about giving the facts and not my own personal thoughts. So yeah, so it's not that I'm trying to cover anything up or hide anything from anybody. I just will not put myself in a position to be talking about something like that and with it just being my opinion. Oh, I didn't know that, but I had no idea, mate. So I'm going to have another ciggy while we're chatting for the next few minutes, and then, guys, I am definitely going to have to go. Although I do enjoy talking with you guys. Yeah, 5 or 10 more minutes. I keep saying that every bloody live I do. I say, yeah, 5 or 10 more minutes. 45 minutes later. Who polices the police? Who polices them? We have to. We have to hold them to account with our cameras. Although, as we've seen, oh, you mustn't take the video clip that was taken by an impartial member of the public who was passing by. You mustn't take that as fact. Take the body-worn cameras of people who are not impartial. Take that as fact and our interpretation of the body-worn video. Yeah, okay, we'll do that then, shall we? Thank you, Linda. Sad but mad lad. I'm presuming that is Latin. And it's funny because I've got some Latin right in front of me on the laptop that says Tenetes magistratus ad rationem. Tenetes magistratus ad rationem. Which means holding the police to account. Which I looked up last night, funny enough, and it's been sat on the desktop there. So yeah, it's quite funny that you brought up the sort of bit of Latin there. No, he did pop up again, and I put him on timeout again, True Reporter. But the next one, if he comes back, the next one will be a hide from channel. Oh dear, oh dear. The only weapon we have is our camera. It's true. It's true. And you know what? That can kill a career just as much as a bullet or a knife can kill a person. The only thing is we need to there you go, Ian. Just in case. What I am gonna do, by the way, guys, there are some people who I trust in the sense of being able to make sure that chats like this are looked after. I will add a few people randomly, not randomly, but you know, a few people that I trust enough to be mods in the lives when I do them. So keep an eye out for that. If you are in a chat, if you are in a live stream with me and you look at your chat and you have a spanner next to your name, it means that that you are a mod for the chat. Leave it mod free. What I will say to any moderators that I take on, and the same to Ian, who I've just given a wrench to, is that I think everybody knows that I am all for free speech. Do you know what I mean? Anybody can say anything they want, even if they want to, you know, swear at me and call me names. I don't care. Absolutely no bother with that whatsoever. So if anybody jumps in to the chat and starts being like that to me, that's fine. But if people start being abusive, actually, you know, being abusive and nasty in that respect, or spamming, then those people have got no reason to be in the chat. Do you know what I mean? I'm all for discussion. I'm all for people saying, look, you're a prick, and then me saying why, and then we have that discussion. I'm all for that. But to make sure that spammers, because as the channel grows, I think that spammers will become more and more prevalent, but spammers and actual abuse, nasty abuse to people needs to be dealt with. Mutley Mondo, I've not spoken to the boy's mum today. I will send her a message a bit later, and thank you, Ian. See, I literally just saw it pop up. It took my mind off of what I was saying, and then Ian, spot on. Thank you very much. Now I still have forgotten what I was saying. Yes, I will do. In the last time I spoke to his mum, I did say that myself, and I speak for myself and everybody that follows the channel when I say that we are, you know, sorry for what happened, and we will do what we can, if we can, to help. Dan, I've not seen Audit in Britain's latest video, not part 2, not yet. Everyone keeps asking me. I will go and check it out because his channel is brilliant. I think he does some really great stuff. And if you're not subscribed to Audit in Britain, his logo is a black logo with the crown. I think, is that the one, guys? Just remind me. Audit in Britain. He has the .gov.uk crown as his logo. Can anybody remind me? Yes, thank you. Yeah, brilliant. Yeah, so if you're not a subscriber of Audit in Britain, he really does put it up when he goes out, and he's got some great content, and I watch all of his videos myself, so go and check him out. Well, the lad himself is only 16. I did put a shout out to the guy who recorded the video that we see. I did put a shout out to him on Facebook. He followed me on Facebook, but he's not responded to my shout out yet. Hopefully he will. But it may be that he's been told not to share anything yet. That may be what's happened. I don't know. I can't answer that question for certain, but we shall see. Jay, the way that when it comes to criminal justice system, we've got to use the same tools against them. We have to. You know what they do? Some of the laws are made so obscure that they can be twisted into 20 different sort of incidents. You can use them for multiple different incidents. And because of that, it gets abused. bit like Section 44 of the Terrorism Act. They were using that on anybody and everybody. And I understand we need to keep an eye out on and for terrorists. But it was being abused. Now, I think it's Section 50 that gets abused a lot, because that doesn't require any reasonable belief. It just requires a police constable's belief. And yet it doesn't need any evidence. It's what's called a, bear with me because I was talking to my brief earlier. It's called a strict liability offence. For example, if you were driving drunk, for example, or with bald tyres, there's no excuse. For example, right? If there is an offence where there is no excuse, for example, Section 50 of the Police Reform Act, failing to give your name and address to a police constable. If you fail to give your name and address to a police constable, that's classed as strict liability. There's no excuse in, under this particular law or legislation, there is no excuse for not giving you details. Although there is a reason for not giving you details, and that is if you're being ordered to give your details unlawfully. Okay? However, a strict liability offence doesn't necessarily need evidence. Okay? And that's the problem with the Section 50. It doesn't require a member of the public making a complaint. It only requires that a police constable believes themselves that you are committing antisocial behaviour. So one police constable who has broad shoulders, for example, might brush off something that you do, no problem. But the next one that comes along might be a snowflake. They go, oh my God, he's raised his voice, he's committing antisocial behaviour. Do you know what I mean? And therefore, you could still get done for it. Does that make sense? And that's not right. There needs to be a line. There needs to be black and white as far as I'm concerned. This grey area rubbish is no good. There needs to be black and white. Yeah, black and white Freemasons, yeah, their chessboard. Oh dear. But anyway, that's what the situation is with that Section 50. Now, I had a chat with my brief earlier today because we put in a letter before action. Somebody did ask me about this a little while ago, so I'm just explaining. Obviously, I got arrested for failing to give my name outside of Crosby Police Station when I was trying to capture some footage for a website template I was building at the time. I didn't want to give my details because I hadn't done anything wrong. On body cam, it shows, and you can clearly hear several of the police constables conspiring as to what they can use against me. Well, he's not giving his name, is he? So if we tell him that we've opened the back gates to allow officers out the back instead of this way because he's causing them alarm and distress, then we can use Section 50 on him. That's basically what they said. So they came back to me, said under Section 50, at which point I knew that failure, refusal to give my details at that point would have got me nicked. So instead, I tried to get them, as is my right, my common law right, is to know why I am being accused of something. That's my right. That is my human right, and it's a common law right to know what I'm being accused of. They said to me, public order, or Section 5, causing alarm, harassment and distress. At which point, all I was trying to do was to get them to explain it to me, but they wouldn't. Instead, they arrested me. handcuffed me, twisted my arm and put the tall plod put all his weight on my elbow, bloody hurt, took me to the police station. At the police station, because I've got dogs, I had to give my details, otherwise I'd have stayed there for the full 24 hours and they'd have got nothing out of me. And if you're watching this, trust me, that's what'll happen. If I ain't got the dogs, if I've got someone to look after the dogs and you think you can have me for not giving my details, then I don't care, mate. I'll sit in a cell. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, cups of coffee. Who cares? Yeah. But once I gave my details at the police station, because it's a strict liability offence, once I gave my details, the offence is then over. The offence is finished. There is no more offence. But yet they put me in a police cell for several hours and they kept my mobile phone for a couple of months at least. Do you know what I mean? So, as far as I'm concerned, the offence was over, but yet they kept hold of me in a cell for no reason. They kept my phone for evidence when they didn't need it, and there was none. They arrested me for not giving my details when I was trying to get them to explain properly to me, as is my right, exactly what I was supposed to have done. And yet they've turned down they've turned down my complaint. They turned down the appeal. So the letter before action went in, which went in December, I think it was, middle to the beginning of December. And my brief emailed me on Friday, told me that he's had a response, sent a response through to me, and obviously they're not accepting any liability. So I'm now at the point where I have to make the decision to either let it go. We won't start that. I can't even delete that or edit that, can I? Oh well. Oh shit. But yeah, so I'm at the point now where it's either I forget about it or I take them to court and litigate and litigate them myself. And that's what my next steps are going to be. So the thing for me, guys, is that Section 50 Police Reform Act has not. No, I won't give up my day job, Ian. Section 50 of the Police Reform Act has never been. There's no case. What's it called? There's been no test case for Section 50. All of the photography sites that talk about the laws and stuff say the same thing. There's been no precedent, no case law for it, no test case. Now, although I have a choice of either going through the small claims court or through the county court. Now, I initially thought that they were both the same thing. However, I was informed today by DPP Law, Ian Gould, my brief. He told me that there is two ways of dealing with it. You have small claims court, which is quite a quick case. You go in, you literally just throw your paperwork at them and say, look, this is what they've got to say, this is what I've got to say, make a decision sort of thing, a bit like Judge Rinder. Or I can take it to county court, which means the case is likely to take longer than 1 day. And that's where I want to go with this. I want to go to a court case where I can give my version and my evidence and actually have time for them to consider that. That's where I want to go. However, if I lose, then I have to pay the court costs. So it's a decision that I need to weigh up in my mind. Ian, comments? So that's a decision I need to make in my mind, and before I move forward. Yeah, well, this is what I'm thinking, Jay. If I take it to the county court rather than the small claims, then I'm going to have more time to be able to put my argument across, and that's what I think is important. Thank you, Ian. And I think that's important in this situation. I think it's important for me to put across that, I watch the video, Your Honour. I refuse to give my details, as is my right under common law and my human rights and everything else. And then when they said to me, right under section 50, blah, 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 at which point I no longer refused to give my details. I didn't refuse, and I didn't say, no, you're not having them. I simply wanted to know why. But instead of giving me the pleasure of explaining, they decided to arrest me. I haven't got a guesstimate at all. Absolutely no idea whatsoever. This was a chat I had with Ian today. We're going to have another chat some point next week. But yeah, that's hopefully I might have an idea at that point. I couldn't say for certain. Orwellian Brune, who talks too much? Me? I talk too much. Well, the problem is the police can arrest you for anything that they want, but your charges can be for something completely something else. And for me, that's wrong. I think if the police are going to arrest you for something and they can't charge you for that, then you should be let go. This will ensure that the police are using the correct laws and legislations. But to arrest somebody, to arrest somebody for one thing and then charge them with something completely different if it's a similar offence, then, I don't suppose that's too bad. But if you're arrested for one thing and charged for something completely different, how's that fair on anybody? Madness. Well, yeah, AB, that's what I think. I think I had my liberty restricted, which for a strict liability offence shouldn't have happened, even though they said they needed, the reason that the custody sergeant said I was being detained was for purposes of questioning, to gain evidence. But they don't need evidence in this situation, and I wasn't questioned. So it was quite literally done as a punishment for standing up for them. Absolutely 100%. If you've not seen the video, go through my videos, go all the way back to the start, I'm afraid, scroll all the way through. And I had a notification yesterday telling me that I hit 300 video uploads, which I'm really chuffed about. But yeah, that's ultimately what it was. There's a 3-part video. Scroll back through and have a look. and you'll be able to see what actually happened. So yeah, so that's where I'm at with my own case. But anyway, guys, it's now 9:25. As much as I do enjoy doing these lives and speaking to you all, I am going to have to go because I really do have to order this dinner now. But PAP Reports will be back tomorrow with some fresh news for you. See what's happening in the world of plod, and we'll see what else happens. 10 more minutes. I can't do another 10 more minutes. Honestly, I am absolutely famished. Absolutely. So there we go. But thank you all for joining me. I appreciate it when you jump on, and even 120, 160, 200 and something people on earlier, and I appreciate every single one of you. For those of you who have chucked a few quid in the pot there as well through the super chat, much appreciated. Thank you. As I've said before, anything that comes to the channel is spent on the channel, whether it's for equipment or whatever, or going towards the website as well. Everything will be put back towards the channel. So thank you once again. I've got a microwave I can heat the Chinese in, yeah. But the problem is I'm using my phone to do this live and I need it to order my dinner. So there we go. One last time, guys, thank you again. Much appreciated. I'll speak to you no doubt in the comment section of this or any of my other videos at some point. Please share the videos if you can as well, if you're in Facebook groups or Twitter. I've just gone over 13,000 subscribers today as well, which is another result, and I'm really chuffed with that. Hopefully we can get the word out to more people and we can educate and try and help people in their own fights. Thanks again. Take care of yourselves. Film the police and other officials.